want me to like it? And this week we should have time to do the definition, right?
Yeah, we'll start with that.
Yeah.
You can ask someone to come up and light it.
Then they're all going to get very jealous of each other.
You'll do a great job.
I'll do some kind of job. That'll be great. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Okay, at least Neil said it. Celia said it too. I saw that too. But all right, our usual test. Mike and Margaret, can you hear us okay in the back there? Okay, Marcia can. Okay. And we know you have to follow the sun, but just a reminder, sun moves as the service goes on. You can move closer if you'd like. Otherwise,
I've seen people like inching
yeah,
closer.
yeah, inching closer.
So
That's good. This is very, very humorous in that way.
You can see the line.
Exactly. And also, I'll say it, and I've said it many times over the last few weeks. If you're in the kind of chair that's hard to get out of, all the places where I say rise, just use your best judgment. Stay right where you are, okay? We don't need anybody falling backwards or anything like that. Yeah, Celia's like terra firma on that one, right? That's good. Well, good Shabbos, everybody who's here with us at the Whalers Church. Good Shabbos to all of our friends watching at home. This isn't actually sweat, by the way. It's just me crying all day. That's basically it. It's hard. It's hard to say goodbye to Lauren, and we know that it's not a permanent goodbye. If nothing else, I'm marrying them, come next summer. So for sure we're going to see each other. But we know, this is one of the great blessings of this community, and having student cantors like Lauren is just seeing the impact and seeing what you bring to this community and what will always be a part of this community because you were here. So all of your friends here, everybody who's watching at home, we are deeply indebted to you. And we're going to try, I said to Lauren, I'm going to try not to blubber my way through the service. We're going to try not to treat this as some crazy long goodbye. We're going to just have a great time. We're going to enjoy her beautiful voice. We're going to learn a little bit of Torah with her later, some form or the other, her own Torah, and we're going to sing. So if you've been, waiting to sing for your whole life, this is the Shabbat to sing, okay? This is a great way. I know, Lauren, this is one great way to show just how much you appreciate her. And I can't imagine a better Shabbat to go out on. So less of me talking, more of that beautiful voice and presence. So Cantor, why don't we start with Yedid Nefesh and then we'll light candles. Yedid Nefesh is on page 128.
I realized I did not turn the mic on. Oh, you did.
Yep, I did. We'll turn now to page 120 as we light and bless our Shabbat candles. I'll do the lighting, Cantor will do the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Amen. We'll turn now to page 130 and we'll begin Kabbalat Shabbat together at the very top of the page. We're now on page 131, Shiru Ladonai, just in the middle of the page.
I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash.
We'll turn now to page 132, or Zarua at the very, very bottom of the page.
Or Zarua latzadik ulishelef simcha. Or Zarua latzadik ulishelef simcha. Or Zarua latzadik ulishelef simcha. Ulishelef simcha. Or Zarua latzadik ulishelef simcha. Ulishelef simcha. Yaina yaina yaina
We'll turn now to page 134, Zamru Ladonai at the very top of the page.
Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor.
We're now on page 135, Romamu, which is just in the middle of the page in Hebrew.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu behar kosher Romemu Adonai Eloheinu והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו.
We'll turn now to page 138, Lecha Dodi, beginning at the very top of the page. And a reminder, we'll do the first, second, fifth, and ninth paragraph. And for the final one, if you are able and so choose to rise, you are welcome to do so.
Lecha Dodi likat kala Pnei Shabbat mekabela 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 Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו תפארת ולתפילה Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela
Fifth paragraph.
התעוררי כי באורך ומאורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך מילה Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela בואי לשלום העצרת פעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה Pnei Shabbat mekabela.
Please be seated. And, for those inclined to move forward, you are welcome to do so. This really is funny. We're going to turn now to page 140 at the very top of the page.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון להגיד בבוקר חסדך באמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בכינור מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון צדיק אתה מורי פרח כארז בלבנון ישנא שתולים בבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו עוד ינובון בשיבה דשני בן עננים יהיו להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי בלא עוולת עמו.
Now rise in body or in spirit as we turn to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה
אמן.
ילמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמיה יתברך יתברך וישבח ויתפאר ויתרומם יינשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בעלמא ויאמרו Amen.
We'll turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu, or remain standing in body or spirit.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Marechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yai 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 yai
Please be seated. We'll join together now on the bottom of page 149 in English. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו
המעריב הרבים.
Amen. We're now on page 150.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל אותנו למדתה. על כן אדוני אלוהינו לשוכנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם ולילה. מאהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני
Baruch Hu Shemo.
אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
Please join us on page 154. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We'll read together now on the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. As we turn to page 158, Mi Chamoch. Adonai, Imlo, Leholam, Vaed, Adonai, Imlo, Leholam, Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Israel. And we'll turn now to either page 160 or 161. Cantor Lauren is in charge for this Shabbat, so whatever she chooses is the right answer.
One we've been doing.
One we've been doing. I think that's 161. Maybe 160.
Let Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
We turn now to page 162, Vishamru at the very top of the page.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
I'll invite you to rise in body or spirit. We'll begin the Amidah as we always do together on page 164. From that point, we'll continue silently. If you're still standing at the end, you may be seated. And again, we'll begin together, page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tilatecha. Open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. tzuri v'goali, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you, oh my rock, and my redeemer.
We'll turn now to page 371 as we prepare for our Misha Berach this evening. Tonight we're thinking of Aaron Zweig, Michael Klinghoffer, Amy Cass, Steve Levine, Rivka Bat Rachel, Leah Bat Naomi, Gedalia Ben Sylvia, Lorraine Danis, David Dowling, Sivia Devora Bat Francis, Deborah Block Kroll, Sylvia Orn, Muriel Hirsch, Michelle Sawicki, Francis Kirschman, Paul Bat Esther, Shelley Newmark, Diane Axelrod, Gabriela Spicer, Dina Batchana, Barbara Kushner, David Kyle Klotman, Michoel Ben Chananya, Benzi Tepper, Lorraine Davis, Barbara Kent, Chana Bet Miriam, Moshe Ben Ephraim Fischel, Devora Batsima, Moshe Eliezer Ben Yakutiel, Judy Yang, Jeffrey Miller, Sandy Greenwald, Pat Chionis, Peter Parcher, Jeannie Levinson, Eva, Leah, and Pam, Jody Bernstein, Matthew Agarwal, Leslie Schifrin, Charlie Zweig, Michael Rosenblatt, August Hill, Trish Shapp, Jerry Labowitz, and Rivka Bat Yehuda Vebela. In addition to the names that we just shared, if you have any additional names to share, those that are with us here tonight, just raise a hand. We'll try to get to everybody as far as I can see. Alyssa? Okay, Susan? Mamie? We'll join together with the cantor on page 371, right in the middle of the page.
Misha Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're feeling the heaviness here. We're feeling it. But like I said, this is a celebratory Shabbat.
I always
Okay?
say that every time.
That's part of the experience. We're celebrating, okay? We are celebrating a remarkable person, and a person in Lauren who wanted a few words to share with all of you tonight before we say a few words to her. So, Lauren, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'll be back in just a second.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week we read Parshat Devarim, where Moses continues his long farewell speech to the Israelite people. He knows that he will not continue with them and spends pretty much the majority of Deuteronomy preparing them for a life without him. Today, while this is not my goodbye forever like Moses's, it is still a farewell. For anyone who knows me, I'm not one to volunteer to speak publicly in front of a large group of people. And I can only think of a few times where I have asked to speak. Believe it or not, the idea of public speaking actually terrifies me. Singing, I'm more than okay with, but for some reason, the simple task of speaking makes me sweat. And when it comes to words, I'm oftentimes a few. So it's interesting that the one and only time I have ever asked Rabbi Dan permission to deliver the Parsha literally means words. As I thought about the fact that I needed to say goodbye to this amazing community, I wanted to share my words and voice to express how much you all have and do mean to me. I remember my first Shabbat in July of 2020. I was sitting at my mom's dining room table with my guitar, praying that my dog wouldn't start barking and that our shaky Wi-Fi would make it through the evening. But little did I know how much my life would forever be changed by this incredible community. It's a little wild that I've never actually prayed with you all inside of your own sanctuary walls. We've prayed together via Zoom, at Havens Beach, at Main Beach, on a sunset cruise on the lawn of Cor Maria, in the sanctuary and chapel of the Old Whalers Church on this very lawn. Yet you have made all of these places feel like home. But as I said earlier, words are not always my strongest asset, and I can never express what I'm really feeling. So maybe me singing will do a better job of that. A dear friend of mine wrote a song, and when I heard it, all I could think about was this place and all of you. So I offer this song to you. Within these walls, filled with memories, are the ones we've come to know. Within these walls, there's the light on, guiding us no matter where we go. Within these walls, words from the heart, and the prayers that reach our soul. Within these walls, holy music, and the songs that make us whole. In these walls are generations, and their stories we've been told. In these walls, there lives a promise and the hope that we all hold. In these walls comes a healing, for we never rise alone. In these walls blessings of all who make this home. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. 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 Sing along with me the words Ma tovu. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael. 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 In these walls are the blessings of all who make this home. In these walls are the people who make this place home.
Amazing selection of music, and I don't know why you think about the speaking thing as, you are masterful at it. And I honestly, the only reason I didn't ask was because I know her well enough to know that she's terrified of that and other, birds. But other than that,
And the birds were
chirping along, which is like the most unbelievable thing. So, Lauren, I have a couple of words for you in a moment, but I want to invite up one of your closest confidants here while you've been here, and somebody who's really developed an amazing relationship with you, Shelley Lichtenstein, our Hebrew School director, who's going to share a gift on behalf of our congregation, which we hope you'll carry with. And Shelley, I think we've learned from this experience. I'll hold this and you hold this. Okay, just be careful coming over there. Okay, you hold that.
Okay. Well, Lauren, this is not easy, as we said. This has been a tough week for all of us, thinking that this is your last Shabbat with us. And thinking back to the beginning when Dan said, he always says, I think it's going to be a great cantor. Really, I interviewed them and they're going to be great. And then you come and it's a pandemic and we don't even get to meet you except on the little box. And so for a year you were on this box. You took us through High Holy Days with Rabbi Dan. And then I asked you, could you help us with the Hebrew school? Could you help us with tefillah? And it was always, yes, sure. That was always your response, which was so lovely because you really meant it. And you developed a beautiful, beautiful tefillah with our kids. Actually, most of the faculty are here in your honor tonight because you just touched all of us in such a way. One day we had Hebrew school parents, so I always invite them to come in, and they came in to pick up, but it was at the end of the day, and a parent sat there and he was amazed. His daughter was just singing along in Hebrew, clapping with the cantor, and you were virtual, but it made absolutely no difference because you were right there with us. We all felt that we were with you every Monday afternoon. I tried really hard to get Lauren to do this next year, but her schedule unfortunately is not going to help. But we look forward to you returning. And then I said to you one day, would you like to maybe help us with the Women's Seder? And her response was, well, I've never been to one, but I'd really be interested. And so for 2 years, she led us and was on the committee, not just put it together, but put it together with us. And it was really wonderful working together. Unfortunately, both times were virtual. So I've already told Lauren I'm booking her for her return when we're in our new building to come and join us and lead us in the Seder. And if it won't be this year, it will be the following year. But we really look forward to that. So you have really, and I know with the Torah, Ruth asked you, could you lead Torah study with the woman's commentary? Sure, I can do that. And then when Rabbi Dan was sick and we weren't sure what to do one day, and it was like, okay, Lauren can do it. So you have grown so tremendously here, Lauren. Really, we all just appreciate and love you and really look forward to you going to LA for a year with Aaron, coming back, getting married, and we really sincerely hope to see you back here. So to help you remember us, oh, and I forgot also Shabbat by the Bay, which has been so much fun. Rabbi Dan's not so much a beach person. He comes, he does it, but Lauren is a beach person, and we just love being there together. It's really been fun. So in your honor, and with lots and lots of love, this is a book that we put together with lots of different people. And if you didn't get a chance to write, I'm giving us some empty pages and you can send it into the office here and we'll get it to Lauren. So this is a token for you to remember us by. Enjoy. So you can. Yeah. We've been very careful. So enjoy. Look at, don't read it now because you've got to finish the service. And yeah, you will definitely. But it's really everybody that wrote, basically, Lauren's a gem. Lauren's just, we're so grateful to you. We're so honored to have you here. And thank you. And looking forward, we don't say shalom, we're saying lehitraot for your return. See you when you come back. Much, much love to you.
Oh, this is also yours. You get a bag. I didn't even know we had those.
I got a bag. And they're all really blank pages.
Shelly really thinks of everything, you know? You guys are a dynamic duo, that is for sure. Shelly, thank you. Okay. Oh, they're not coming for us, I promise. So, you know, I could spend an hour, and I wish I could. But I realized, as a rabbi, I want to leave you with at least a little bit of Torah. And the truth is, this was very self-serving. This was Torah I looked at this week to try to help me, probably as much as anything. So I was trying to think in our tradition how we think about goodbyes, right? That word that Shelley just used, what's great about Hebrew is, you know, we say goodbye litrot as a reflexive verb. It means we know we're going to see you again, for sure. But there's another really great example of how we think about goodbyes in our tradition, and it actually has to do with Shabbat. So I'm going to share a little teaching that comes from the Pninei Halacha, which is a more contemporary collection of halakha. It's written for us to be able to sort of read and understand. It was written by Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, who was the Rosh Yeshiva and rabbi of the community of Har Bracha in Israel. And he writes as follows. And he says that the sages state that it is a mitzvah to set the table on Saturday night for what's called the Malava Malka. Just out of curiosity, if any of you heard of, other than David Grimsey, Malava Malka. Okay, Susan, very good, maybe. Sometimes known as Shal Shidduch or Sudah Shlishit. And the idea is before Havdalah, before Shabbat ends, we have one final meal to make sure that on Shabbat we actually have 3 formal meals. And so this Malava Malka, right, we're told it's actually important not just to have the meal, but to set a table for it, which is a shorthand way of saying make it special. And with this, we honor Shabbat and its departure. And we learn this ultimately from the Talmud in Shabbat, Masechet Shabbat. So one must say goodbye to a dear and beloved friend. This is the basis for this particular halacha. We know that we have to say goodbye to somebody who is dear to us, and we don't want them to leave. What we do is we escort them just a little distance as they are leaving in order to spend just that little bit more time together. And so too, we must escort Shabbat at its departure in the same fashion. Despite the fact that it is over, we continue to delight in its holiness. And I thought this was a remarkable teaching and one that I think speaks to this moment, and I think is instructive really for all of us. We know Shabbat ends. No matter what we want to do about it, Shabbat will always end. And we know that your time with us was going to come to a close, at least in some fashion. But we savor it. We take every moment to celebrate until the very, very last moment. And that's really what this Shabbat is about. It's sad, but it's also sweet. And while we don't exactly have a table to set, we actually We haven't been able to give you food for 3 years. I feel bad about it. We do it in our hearts, all right? We make this Shabbat as beautiful as we possibly can, and in large part thanks to you being a part of it. And on a very personal note, and I've spoken to you about this before, there are many things about this particular job and this particular place that I treasure. But one of them has been being able to work with student cantors like yourself, Lauren, and seeing the growth certainly of mind, of body, of spirit, of connection to our tradition, but just as importantly of what you give and what you bring and what you have done. And as I said in the letter you'll read, right, your impact here is forever. It's a legacy that'll be part of the shul forever. And we will miss you terribly, but we're going to hold on to these moments. And thankfully, because of the internet, we have 3 years worth of your services. So if we ever really, really, really miss Lauren, you can go back and watch all the way from the very beginning, as Shelley said. And last word I just want to share, which is a sort of special moment for the two of us, which happened, this was last summer, I guess, when we were trying to do services at the beach and at Cor Maria, and then we would run back here to do a Zoom service so that nobody was left out. And we got back here the first time we were doing it, and we had some signals crossed, and one of the church groups was meeting in our space, and we had no time to set everything else up again, so I took my phone out, and we literally, yes, we also did not really, that's right, we didn't have access to internet, so I used my phone, and we took turns, and we didn't know how to turn the lights on in the sanctuary, so by the end of the service, it was like pitch dark, and yet we had a blast. We had a wonderful time because of who you are, right? That could have been the absolute worst scenario, and you made it the best. And there's so many moments just like that that I know I will carry with me, even as we depart. You are a part of all of us. So, Lauren, we love you. We thank you, and you will for sure stay in touch. And I think we can all say a very much amen v'amen. Can I give you? I'm all schwitzy. All right. I know Neil also wanted to say something, but Neil, we're gonna save you for another time. Right? Nobody's gonna be able to hear you from there, so just you can. I can't say no to Neil. I'll come to you. Here you go. Just you won't be on.
This is sort of a secret. Andrew and I come here, and I don't want to offend you.
No offense.
We come here to hear you sing,
No offense
not to hear Dan.
No offense whatsoever.
That's it.
That was it. I'm glad we did that, by the way. I'm glad we took the time. Glad we took the time. Yeah, well, that was going to be my last word, is also if we can give, normally we don't clap on Shabbat, but in this case, for Lauren's wonderful mother, Bonnie, who has been a part of everything from the very beginning. Bonnie, we thank you as well for not just bringing her into the world, but sustaining her and teaching her so many of the wonderful, wonderful things that she is and is about. And, that first high holiday is literally when I actually saw Lauren in person for the first time. And Bonnie, I think you were the only other person that we allowed in, Aaron. And it's quite a remarkable journey, really. And we know that you're going to miss her a lot next year also. So when you miss her, you can come out here too. We can all miss her together. It's just fine. So we're going to turn now back to our Sidurim, to our prayer books, page 586 at the very bottom of the page, and we'll rise in body or spirit. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו Echad. I invite those in mourning and those observing yahrzeit to please remain standing in body or spirit. Everyone else may be seated at this time. We think of those who have passed in our community in recent months. Dr. John Abdrakin, Martin Blake, Faith Diskin, Linda Danath, Arlene Eber, Jay Fagan, Ellen Frank, Chaim Bear Greenwald, Gerald Hirsch, Mark Joseph, Jane Beard Cass, Gertrude Katz, Buddy Kossoff, Elaine Krotman, Emmanuel Kiprios, Leo Leibowitz, William Lippman, Sandra Tromberg Luongo, Harry Olstein, Norma Paulsek, David Senf, Anita Sheldon, Alan Silver, Larry Warter, Peter Weinstein, and Matthew Adam Zimmerman. We also marked the art sites that occurred during the last week for Lillian Diner, Benjamin Deinitz, Bill Durst, Andrew Ruben Ecker, Evelyn Frankel, Tobias Gilbert, Daniel Karp Goodman, Arthur Grossman, Elaine Gruenstein, David Harris, Daniel Koplovich, Rachel Lewontin, my mother-in-law Audrey Lubo, Rose Massoff, Rebecca Matlis, Jack Pastor, Alicia Brown Pomeroy, Haftish Rebish, Louis Schoenbach, Esther Schulman, Susie Schwartz, Vera Sims, Linda Stelmeck, Eric Strasser, and Isidore Weiss. Is anyone else saying Kaddish this evening for anyone that we did not mention? I'll invite those watching at home to add the names of their loved ones as well, and we'll ask the mourners to join with me on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agalav izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha berichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may every one of their memories be for a blessing. Shabbat shalom, everyone. You can be seated, and boy, it's hard to do announcements in this way. It's like normally it's next week. We'll see you next week. So we won't exactly, but we don't have to say goodbye yet. Believe it or not, we have services on Saturday mornings. I don't know if you know about this, but you can join us in the chapel right here at the Whalers Church or online. And of course, to join us on Zoom at Torah Study. And this being the first Shabbat of the month, our Torah Study using the Torah, a women's commentary, which will be facilitated this month by Leah Oppenheimer and Margaret Bromberg, two of the co-chairs of our committee. And one of, again, the really great moments for me is really having the opportunity to learn Torah with Lauren. And while she says she's not, one to talk or to share work, she's excellent at it. I actually joke that when I got sick, it was sort of a form of comps for her. That basically, if you could do that while I was going, you could do anything, okay? You could run any service without a doubt. So again, if you can, join us in one form or the other tomorrow as we have our last service with Cantor Lauren. Also, a reminder that tomorrow evening is the beginning of Tisha B'Av. And just a reminder, there was a slight miscommunication. We're not going to have an in-person option this year, so it will be Zoom only. It is a 9 o'clock service, beginning, again, 9 o'clock on Zoom. And we are celebrating, or commemorating, I should say, together with Rabbi Jan Urbach and the Conservative Synagogue of the Hamptons, as we have for many, many years. So we will do the Ma'ariv evening service, and then we will chant Eicha and a few of the keynotes, the special melodies and songs that are sung on Tisha B'Av. A reminder for the remainder of the week, Monday, the Advanced Conversational Hebrew Group is meeting at 11:15 with Shelley on Zoom. Nina Mitzvah meets at 11:30. My class on Heschel and the Prophets is at 12 o'clock. And 5 o'clock, the Social Justice Committee meets virtually. A reminder again that Monday at 6 o'clock is a really, really wonderful program on Zoom only, in which we are welcoming Rabbi Dr. Shmuley Yankovich, who has written several books over the years, but we are focusing on his most recent work on the book of Proverbs, the book of Mishlei, from a social justice perspective, offering commentaries. So this is going to be a bit of teaching from him, some conversation led by one of the co-chairs of our Social Justice Committee, Andy Klausner. And he really is a remarkable person with a lot to teach us and a lot to bring that connection between our social action work and the texts of our tradition. So please join us again on Monday at 6 o'clock on Zoom. A reminder, on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, there will be a tour of the D'Amico Studio and Archives, preceded by lunch. And again, this is absurd for me to say out loud, at the Lobster Roll in Amagansett. I am not endorsing the eating of the lobster part of it. They have other things, including fish and chips, which are delicious. Go for that. And while it will be our first Shabbat next week without Cantor Lauren, which will be hard, I think it was accidental in this way, but it worked out, and that we actually have really one of Lauren's teachers for a little bit, I think, when you were in Israel. Rabbi and Cantor Shani Ben Or, who was with us a few years ago, comes to us all the way from Yerushalayim, which is a very special treat. And we also have Dr. Andrew Rayfeld, who is the president of HUC JIR, the wonderful institution that trained me as training Cantor Lauren and all of our student cantors over the years, and Rabbi Morris and all of our rabbis going back quite a while. And so this is a real privilege to have both of them with us. We're going to have a whole Shabbat of learning, Friday night services, Saturday morning Torah study. Really a wonderful opportunity, and also very important for us as a community to come out as best as we can. All right, our plan is we'll get another beautiful night like this. We'll be outside. Come here Friday night. Bring your friends. You know, it's really one of those great opportunities for us to learn and to strengthen and build that relationship that we have with this wonderful institution in New York. And as I told Cantor and Rabbi Shani, to bring some melodies from Israel as well. So it may be some different music. I can already tell Marsha's upset about it, but there's going to be different music. Be prepared for it. But it's really great stuff. It's the closest we can do to bring Yerushalayim here.
She has some really great melodies.
She does have some really great melodies. So
a lot that she's composed too.
See, if Lauren said, you don't believe me, clearly, right? As Neil said. So nobody has to come see me next week. Just come for all of that other good stuff. And just a reminder, we're expecting probably more people than normal. If you can't find a parking spot here, just a reminder that we actually have usage of St. Andrew's parking lot, which is directly behind us. And you can park the cars there and come over easily. But really, we hope we'll all be there together. And a reminder, and this is really tough without you being here, because I'm told Lauren was the linchpin that held it together. We have another 20s and Shelley, Shelley too, right? Another opportunity for our 20s and 30s group to have a beach bonfire in Havdalah. Again, that's next Saturday, a week from this Saturday. So if you know anybody who's interested in coming, tell Shelley, and she'll give you all of the details. And one other reminder that we have a welcome back, virtually at least, for Dasi Berkowitz, Rabbi Morris's wife and wonderful teacher. She's bringing a little bit of her soulful work that she's been doing the last few years, in this case focusing on becoming a soulful grandparent. Which is really a good thing. The Karlbachs are here. We just had another grandchild brought into the family. This is a good one for everybody. Even if you don't have grandchildren, you can definitely come. Dasi will be very happy to see you. So just make sure to sign up and register for that. That is a week from Sunday. And there actually is so many other things that if I had all of the stuff, it would go on to the next page. The best thing you could do, check out our website, eBlasts, all those good things. And really, for the rest of August, we've got a lot coming. And one last word, which is that Cantor Lauren is going, when she goes to LA, she's going to have another internship at Stephen Wise Temple, which is located in Los Angeles. And if I'm not mistaken, you said that you might be doing a little bit of high holiday stuff here and there. So you have my permission. The beauty of there being a 3-hour delay, you can come to our services here, and then you can watch a little bit of Lauren. I think it's going to be great. And they're a wonderful community who we know are going to take really good care of you. And we're looking forward to seeing all the great stuff that you're going to do. And just one last word that we're going to welcome our new student cantor, a good friend of Lauren's in the end. Major difference in Neil and I going with Kevin as our new student cantor was because of Lauren vouching for him. So we know it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for sure, but still that same kind of neshama, which is really important to us. So with all of that said, one last thing. I hate to end on a logistical note, but just a reminder as we're leaving this space to be very conscious of the cars. Lauren, if you do me a favor, because I know everybody's going to want to say goodbye. Mm-hmm. Lauren will end up over here, away from all the wires and expensive equipment. So you can come and say goodbye to her over there at your leisure. Anybody who needs their car to go around here, you just have to wait a couple of minutes. I'll get all this stuff out of the way, and then we can safely transition out of this space. Okay, enough announcements from the rabbi. So, Cantor, do we have a closing song?
I do. I'd love to do one of my favorites. You can find the words on page 645 in your Sidurim. On page 645, this was probably one of the songs that made me want to be here.
To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lech לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים, לשמחת חיים, לכי לך. You shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing, לכי לך.
We really should have been singing that to you, but I'm glad that you sang it to us. That really is phenomenal. So we'll rise in body or spirit, and probably rising at this point in general for Kiddush, and for our Motzi. Kiddush can be found on page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikrahei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki v'hanu b'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim לשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת אמן. לחיים.
Chaim.
Great juice. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Again, if you want to say a personal goodbye to Cantor Lauren, nowhere near the wires. Don't come anywhere in this vicinity.